to pick it up, and here we go. Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. And he's gone. How about that? Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
Duarte pulls up, 3-ball. Bang!
LJ Figueroa!
Oregon goes back-to-back for the 4th time in the last 6 years. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
Boley 3. Goal! Boley bomb! Mike Sill fires and hits a 3. Left wing. Pow. Yeah, boom, boom.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
What a weekend.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
We have a huge show for you today. We're going to talk a lot of basketball. We're going to talk a lot of baseball. We're going to talk about fans being in the stands as we welcome you to Duck Insider inside the Country Financial Studio. I'm Joey Mack. It is Athletic Director Tuesday, brought to you by our friends at Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl, kind enough to join us on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line. And he's been traveling all over the place, so we're going to talk about that. Also, a couple Pac-12 honors for Oregon soccer and Oregon softball. And speaking of Oregon softball, head softball coach Melyssa Lombardi will join us coming up on the show in just a bit. And we will look back on the great career for Erin Boley for Oregon women's basketball today and hear a little bit from her. Without further ado, though, let's get to the fact that there are limited baseball tickets on sale now. GoDucks.com has you covered. There's a series this weekend. There's also a rivalry series next weekend that we're going to talk about. I was just talking to Jason Harris from Oregon Tickets, and he said, yeah, tickets are going fast. So come enjoy some sunshine at PK Park. Do it safely, and the light is at the end of the tunnel, which is great. So with that, is the light at the end of the tunnel, Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl?
Oh, absolutely, Joey. I am loving the enthusiasm out of you today.
Well, I'm glad. I try to bring the energy every day, and at some point, Eric, we all just need a little bit of that energy, don't we, in this landscape?
Absolutely. There's a lot of energy around the department right now. Our spring sports are full speed ahead right now, and we're going to talk about the basketball postseason and all the good things that are going on right now, but there's a lot of positive energy around the department and all the success that our teams are having and starting to open some things back up, with all the restrictions that have been in place and starting to be able to engage a little bit more with our fans who have been so patient and so loyal. So it's a great time right now.
Baseball tickets on sale. GoDucks.com. Check it out. Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl is our guest. Let's look back on the men's basketball season. So take fans inside what the travel was like for the team, Eric. Normally I'm traveling with the team and I'm experiencing that, but in this landscape, I got to ask you what it was like. So what was it like being in Bubbleville?
Well, it was just a lot here all the way around. I think everybody was grateful to be competing and playing and having that opportunity, but certainly a lot more structure around it throughout the season. And then once we got into postseason, down in Las Vegas, the Pac-12 did a really nice job of creating a controlled environment while preserving the student-athlete experience and adding some nice touches for the student-athletes down there in Las Vegas. And, going into Las Vegas, the thing that was unique this year was that, if you advanced to a certain kind of phase of the Pac-12 tournament, the expectation was going to be that you would travel directly on to Indianapolis. And in our case, we lost on Friday night. So we were actually able to return back to Eugene, reset for a couple days, and then travel out to Indianapolis on Monday. But I know that, Oregon State and some of the teams that advanced further, traveled directly. So when you're packing for Las Vegas, you're potentially packing for 3 weeks instead of 4 or 5 days. But that part of it was certainly unique. And then heading into NCAAs, typically you're assigned to a first, second round site, and you prepare for that weekend. You travel Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what day you're playing. And, you look to advance, and then you return back home, to Eugene, and then you reset and do it again. So in this year, you head to Indianapolis and you plan for the long haul. And the NCAA did a great job. It was a controlled environment, but in terms of a city that can prepare and be able to host 68 teams and have the facilities available and creating the flow, the logistical operational setup that worked for the teams, with all those hotels that are connected to the convention center and in proximity to all these competition facilities. It worked really well. And the student athletes, it was a different experience. Everything was a lot more structured again, but they added some nice touches. We had, a night out at the zoo. Some of you may have seen Frank's, video, a night at the zoo. And we had a night at Top Golf, which the guys really enjoyed. So it was a great experience, and certainly they competed really well.
Yeah, and actually, I need to rephrase. It's not Bubbleville, it was Bubbleapolis. Bubbleapolis is a lot better for Indianapolis. Did the Wi-Fi do okay at the hotel with all of you guys trying to work on Zooms?
The Wi-Fi was a little sketchy, Joey. It wasn't great, but it got the job done.
All right, I'll take that. Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl joining us. Who was the best top golfer on the team and among the staff?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't survey every player, but I know that a lot of those clubs at Top Golf were not designed to be swung by, guys who are 6'8", 6'9", 7 feet. But there was a lot of fun out there. And again, it was a really nice opportunity to get outside of the hotel, outside of the practice facilities and just have some fun. But I will say, Coach Altman, Coach McKenna, those guys are sticks.
Yeah.
And I saw them providing a lot of solid golfing advice to our players.
Yeah, the golf acumen is high among Coach Altman and Coach McKenna. That's why anytime there's a golf event in a normal situation, I do not want to be paired with those guys. I don't want to embarrass myself. How'd you do, Eric? Did you all right in the Top Golf?
Absolutely. We were out there, getting some reps in, and it was a lot of fun.
I like it.
Yeah, they did a nice job at Top Golf.
I love it. Eric Roedl joining us, Deputy AD. So the Sweet 16 again, Eric. I mean, I said, I think about it this way. There have been 10 tournaments contested in Coach Altman's 11 years as the head coach for the Ducks, and he's gone to the Sweet 16 now 5 times. How many programs in America would love to be averaging a Sweet 16 appearance every other year under their head coach?
Well, yeah, I was looking at it earlier, and the consistency and the standard that's been set in the men's basketball program. We'll talk about the women in a second, but that standard is at such a high level right now, and we've had a lot of continuity with our staff, and Coach Altman is a pro, and he's really built a strong culture within this program that's sustained over the years. And to make Sweet 16 or better in 4 out of the last 5 tournaments, to win 4 out of the last 6, I believe,
yep.
Joey, Pac-12 regular season championships, and then to win the Pac-12 tournament in 19, to get the AQ into the tournament and then make a run to the Sweet 16. It's been a lot of fun to be around that program, and it's just a testament to the great work that our student athletes and coaches are putting in.
How rewarding was it for you, Eric, to see the entire Pac-12 do well also? We talked about 3 teams in the Elite 8. We wish the Ducks were one of them, but that's saying something for the Conference of Champions, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had a really strong league. And, sometimes, you just beat up on each other. It was great to see, the path created for, the teams in the tournament to go out and make some noise this year. And, I think, tonight, right now, I think we're standing at 18 units, which for a conference is really high, a really successful year, and still have some more opportunities in front of us. So, yeah, it's been great for Pac-12 basketball. We know we have a strong league out here. And for our student athletes to go out and show it, on that stage has been a lot of fun to watch.
Eric, can you explain what you mean by units for fans talking about what that means for the conference?
Yeah, so the NCAA distributes money back to the conferences in several different ways, but one of those is based off of how you perform in the postseason NCAA basketball tournament. So each team that qualifies is worth a unit to start, and then each game that's won as you progress through the tournament is an additional unit. So the Pac-12 had 5 teams into the tournament, and we advanced 4 of them to the Sweet 16 and 3 of them to the Elite 8, and we'll see if we can continue to advance any further. But that's how you generate units. And again, that's a portion, Joey, of how the NCAA distributes revenue back to the conferences nationally. So there is a financial component to having that success.
Similarly, not just on the financial side, Eric, but how much do you think this will really boost the conference's notoriety? I mean, we've talked about this before, that Pac-12 is on the West Coast, a little different, big geographic conference. How much do you feel like this will boost the conference's notoriety across the country heading out of this season?
Absolutely. I think it's great for our entire conference, not just for the sport of basketball, but the overall brand of the league. And we know we have some of the best student athletes in the country out here in the Pac-12, and an outstanding group of 12 institutions. And again, this is just an opportunity to go out and reinforce all the great things that our programs are doing.
I could ask the same questions that we just did about the women's side as well, with the success that the conference has had in the women's basketball tournament thus far. Another Sweet 16 appearance for women's basketball, and that means it's Elite 8, Final Four, and Sweet 16 in the last 4 tournaments under Kelly Graves. That's pretty darn good, isn't it?
Again, the standard has become really high in women's basketball, and I think I've heard Coach talk about this, even this year with some of the expectations that have been set by classes before, over the last few years. And, this year we have a young, really talented group, and, we've been hampered by some injuries, but, a Sweet 16 year, especially with all the adversity and some of the challenges and the uniqueness of this year, it's an outstanding job by our women's basketball student athletes, and a season to be proud of and really to build on with all the youth that they have in that program. And I know that our fans, that's something I didn't mention as part of the bubble, but, we didn't have our band, we didn't have our cheerleaders, we don't have all of our loyal fans that would normally travel with us. And that was a huge gap. It was nice that we had student athlete, families, and we had some fans that were able to travel on a limited basis, but that whole external element of the atmosphere and the excitement around the tournament was a big void, and hopefully a one-time void.
I hope so too.
But, again, the women's basketball program, that sustained success. And, we're very fortunate to have Coach Graves and the job he does, developing young women.
Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl, our guest. We're going to talk about spring football and what things could look like now moving forward in just a moment. But I want to finish this segment, Eric, just ask you, similar to what I asked you when football season came to a close. What are you going to remember most about these basketball seasons?
Oh, I think just, being willing to handle adversity and having that ability, to continue to move forward, whether it's on the men's side and having, 2 out of 3 weeks, to have COVID related shutdowns, and to be able to emerge out of that, with some tough losses, at home to Oregon State and Washington State, and to really come together as a group and continue to press forward and never quit. And they were able to carry themselves into the postseason with some real strength and momentum, and really make a special year out of it. And similar on the women's side, I think just having that steely resolve and going out and competing and controlling the controllables, as we say, and the things that aren't as much in your control, you've just got to be adaptable. Adaptable,
pivot, all the different things that we say this year that have become the norm as part of our vocabulary. Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl is our guest. Quick timeout. When we come back, spring football is on the horizon. Men's tennis, women's tennis, we're going to talk about all that, so stick with us. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to really volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Learfield IMG College.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hello, it's me, the designer jeans in the back of your closet. What happened to us? I used to summer in the Hamptons, and now I'm stuck behind a pair of sweats. Okay, maybe I never really fit you right, but I got a lot more Sunday fun days left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Eric Roedl, Deputy Athletic Director, with us for Athletic Director Tuesday, brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. Eric, we're talking about basketball. Tell us about spring football. Spring football starts this week, everybody. I mean, it's like the perfect timing with basketball coming to a close, spring football getting rolling. Just how exciting is it to get back to a little bit of spring football and dare I say, look ahead to a spring game, huh?
Yeah, we got a busy month ahead. Spring practice starting up this week, and I know Coach is really excited. We have a bunch of mid-year, new additions to the program, and I know they're all excited to, get out there and put the tough off-season workouts that the program they've been through and putting that into work on the field. You get an opportunity to get out there for 15 practices over the next month and cap that off with a spring game, May 1st. So, it's a sunny day out here, Joey. Hopefully we're going to have a lot of sunshine this month and get some great work in.
I love it.
But it's, again, the back-to-back Pac-12 championships for football. There's so much excitement around that program and the level of recruiting that's happening there, the player development, the continued development of the culture, championship culture around our football student athletes. We're excited to get them back out on the field.
May 1st, the spring game. Book it down. We'll, of course, have our regular broadcast. All right, Eric, this is a big question, and I know the question that everybody wants to know. With fans coming back to PK Park this weekend and beyond, what's the outlook for the fall? What can fans start to get excited about? And even for the spring game, I guess I should ask you about that first. Do you have any updates? Do we know exactly how things will look in the coming months?
We're still working with campus and health authorities on the spring game and what that might look like. But we are really excited that we've had the opportunity for our student athletes, in particular, their families, to get into our venues and watch them compete over the last couple weeks. And now to be able to take the additional step forward in some of our venues to have some fans, to get some access for our season ticket holders. That's just a huge step forward. So, we're really looking forward to the fall, Joey, but we don't have any particulars at this point in time to share other than, we're planning on doing everything we possibly can to accommodate as many fans as we're safely able to, throughout the spring and the fall.
I love it.
So Yeah, but really looking forward to getting some fans out at baseball and softball and hopefully at the spring game as well.
Baseball season, of course, off to a pretty darn good start, Eric. An onslaught of a schedule. I've been talking about it, that it's top 25 series after top 25 series. Now the Ducks at home against a New Mexico State team that's pretty darn good. Beavers on the horizon. You know, just how much excitement is there around baseball right now? A top 25 squad in all the major polls.
Yeah, it's been huge, and it's been a really nice trajectory for Coach Waz and the program over the last couple of years. As everybody was, they were really disappointed to have the season cut short last year, but they've really continued to develop. And, you know, there's a strong sense of belief in that dugout, in that locker room right now. I know that there's a high level of confidence that they can compete, you know, for a Pac-12 championship and, you know, make a run into the postseason this year. And, you know, they're taking it one step at a time, but it's been really fun to see that program come together and see some of these early, you know, results, you know, going down to Santa Barbara, a really tough program year in, year out, and get a sweep, and, you know, to head up to Corvallis and get 2 out of 3. So it's been, you know, Arizona State to get 2 out of 3. It's been a great start to the year.
Back at PK Park Thursday, 4 o'clock. We're really looking forward to it, having some fans in attendance. Tickets on GoDucks.com. Eric also oversees men's tennis and women's tennis. And you talk about two teams, Eric, that are playing pretty darn well right now. Let's start with the men. I mean, that's an impressive season that they've put together so far, and the work ain't done yet.
Yeah, they've gotten off to a great start, 13-2. Only 2 losses were that Arizona road trip to ASU and Arizona. And, you know, some good competition in front of them. They're sitting in position to try to get an at-large bid into the tournament, and, you know, a couple of big weeks in front of them. And, you know, on the women's side as well, you know, they've made really nice progress this year, gotten themselves up into the top 50 of the rankings and striking distance again for an at-large to the tournament. And, you know, a big win over USC this past weekend for the women's team. So, you know, both of those programs are having a really nice year and looking to finish strong.
Hey, what's postseason going to look like for tennis, Eric? Is there any indication? Is it a bubble? You know, I'm just curious as things move forward here.
Yeah, I know that the NCAA is continuing to work through that. Don't expect there to be necessarily a bubble, but haven't heard a lot of the particulars there. I do know the final site is down at the national campus, the USTA national campus in Orlando this year. And then we'll see what the first, second round and kind of the super regional sites look like.
It's fluid, right? Everything's fluid still.
It is. Fluidity is the word of the year.
Eric Roedl, Deputy Athletic Director, brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. Eric, did we miss anything? Anything else that you want to highlight for fans?
No, just that we're, you know, again, really excited to be able to engage more externally and get some of our fans into our venues, and a lot of excitement right now around the program. I mean, you know, with track and field men, you know, getting another indoor national championship a couple weeks ago is huge. And, you know, acrobatics and tumbling, beating Bell, or women's soccer, taking down Stanford, getting their first ever win at Cal. So a lot of really good things. Softball, you know, back into the top 5. Lots of great things going on, and we're hoping that we can continue to share that and get some fans back into our venues.
And, oh, by the way, Hayward Field opens this weekend. Woo! The Hayward premiere this weekend. Finally getting a chance to see what that's all about. I'm really looking forward to previewing that with everybody coming up. Eric, I can't thank you enough for always taking the time. Looking forward to chatting with you more as that light is at the end of the tunnel. And thanks for everything that you do. Thanks for always taking the time to chat with us. And, man, get back to work, will you?
All right, Joey. It's been fun.
Eric Roedl, Deputy AD, brought to you by our friends at Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. Quick time out. When we come back, looking back on a tremendous career for Erin Boley, the senior who gave it everything she had for the Ducks, on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Thanks for being with us. And my thanks to Eric Roedl for joining us on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line. A lot of information, and I think we don't quite know yet what things are going to look like moving forward. I did see one question on the Facebook stream that I wanted to address coming from Dustin, asking about the spring game and what it could look like. I think you heard a little bit there. They're still kind of sorting through that. But for softball tickets, I think, yeah, for softball, it's trending in that direction that as long as it can be done safely, GoDucks.com is going to have you covered on some softball tickets. So this is good news. I think it's really good news. And how about that Oregon softball team right now? We're going to talk with Melyssa Lombardi coming up. And they've got a Pac-12 Freshman of the Week and Pitcher of the Week in the same week for McKenna Clemerthis. And, man, Clethermis has been really good. Like, it's unbelievable. And it's funny because Coach Lombardi and I were having this conversation. Like, it was actually in – so broadcasters have what's called a pronunciation guide, right? And it's essentially folks like me will ask all the players, okay, how do you say your last name? You know, like, you always want to get it right. And, well, it was originally Clethermis in the pronunciation guide. And that wasn't right. It was not correct. Somehow it got messed up, lost in translation, which happens. You know, we all make mistakes like that. So it's Clethermis. And I asked Coach Lombardi, and she said, you know, I love that everybody's having to ask me the right way to say it and wanting to confirm because that means she's playing really well. And McKenna Clethermis is playing really well. The pitcher and freshman of the week in the Pac-12 this week. Congratulations to her. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Also a tremendous honor for Oregon women's soccer that we'll tell you about in a second. First, though, I want to revisit the career of Erin Boley. Just what a ride for Erin Boley. She transfers in from Notre Dame, is part of that core group that really made this era of Oregon women's basketball special. And now we saw her take on a different role this year. She was rebounding at a higher clip because she wasn't the safety valve going back on defense for the Ducks anymore. And what a leader she was for this team. And she's not naturally a vocal leader, but she had to be at times this year. And it was really fun to watch her get a double-double in the final game of her career. You don't go out on a much higher note than that. Ducks didn't win the game, but it was a great ride for Erin Boley. And I wanted to talk about her and also let you hear from her, what she had to say after the final game for her in a Duck uniform. It didn't go Oregon's way, but still a career worth celebrating. Erin Boley talking postgame after the Duck season came to an end in the Sweet 16.
Just wondering about how you felt about the fight to get into rhythm offensively tonight and what that experience was like. Also wondering if you could address Maddie's injury and just, is there one end of the court you felt like you missed her more on?
We did, like Coach said, we missed some easy shots around the basket, and we missed some wide open threes to start the game, and that got us, really let them get a lead on us there that we were kind of trying to climb uphill the rest of the game. But not having Maddie hurts us a lot when it comes to ball handlers. We've had all 3 of our primary ball handlers injured at some point this year, so that definitely hurts us a lot, especially against a team like Louisville who's all pressure and full court man the whole game. With that kind of pressure, it definitely hurts us a little bit, and we struggled with that, especially early.
Obviously he's really excited with everything they've got coming back. What will that mean to you to have kind of guided all these freshmen and new players into the future during this pandemic, which you've obviously had your share of struggles getting through?
Yeah. That's all I could have hoped for this year. Really, I think Lydia and I both, that's all we could have really hoped for, was to leave behind something, to, show some kind of leadership or, lead by an example that it kind of paves a path for them to be successful in the future. They're all really, really talented, and it's going to be a great group. And like KG said, their future is really bright. I hope that we were able to help them somewhat in their journey.
What does it say about this group that allowed you guys to persevere and make it to the Sweet 16?
It says a lot about this group. It says a lot about the character of these girls. I'm really proud of all of them for sticking together, and we've had a lot of adversity and a lot of challenges that we've had to get through together. And just for us to be able to stick together and to not, separate or get down on ourselves after the, into the season that we had, I think to be able to end the Pac-12 tournament the way that we did and to just, pick ourselves up, stick together, turn it around and come back out here and play a couple really good games in the tournament out here is awesome. And I couldn't have asked for anything more. And I'm super proud of the girls for that. It says a lot about each and every one of them, and they're going to have a really bright future at Oregon because of it.
Maybe you just answered this question, but Coach said a couple of times, made a point of saying he thinks his team has a championship makeup. What is he seeing? What does he see that makes him say that from your perspective?
Yeah, it's a few things, I think it's a lot of it has to do with the fight that is in us. We didn't show it at all of the time this year, but a few times, we showed that as a unit we had a lot of fight in us, and it takes a group that wants to be a unit and that wants to work together and that wants to play hard for each other. It takes a really special group of people to really lean on each other and create that championship atmosphere. And we definitely have the girls that, have that potential. So, I'm really proud of the fight that we showed coming into this tournament especially. I think that really shows that we've got some fighters here and that they could be a championship team in the future.
Despite losing Maddie and losing Niara, you guys cut it to 6 there in the fourth quarter and had about 3 or 4 good looks at making it even tighter than that. How close do you think you were to flipping it on them? And then obviously it got away from there.
Yeah, we were close. It did feel like an uphill battle. We were really trying hard to just get stops and then make something happen offensively, and we couldn't just put the two together enough to close that gap. But we did, it did feel like we had a fighting chance there. A few times, especially at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth. But, credit to Louisville for playing a great game and for never letting up at that point. They went on a couple runs there, and we just it just got to the point where we couldn't close that gap.
Just so much poise from Erin Boley, talking a little bit about the game there and then also just her career. I think we know that this is a talented group moving forward, and now it really is the true changing of the guard, right? I mean, Erin Boley and Lydia Giomi were still around this year. They helped the Ducks through a lot of those adverse situations. But now it really is up to this new wave of players. It's not just the freshmen, that Fab Five that we've talked about. Bev Smith called them the Fundamental Five, which I always really appreciated that. There's more to it than that now for this Oregon team. They've got some veterans that are coming back, but it does feel like with Erin Boley and Lydia Giommi now moving on, it sort of is the changing of the guard. I think still a successful season, and let's all hope it's a springboard heading into next year. We're going to talk with Melyssa Lombardi, head coach of Oregon softball, coming up in just a moment. First, a couple big honors for Oregon athletics this last 24 hours or so. First of all, Oregon women's tennis is into the top 50. You heard Eric Roedl mention it. They're up to number 46. There you are right there on the NCAA tournament line. Another team that's on the NCAA tournament line, I think, Graham Abel's Oregon soccer team. Might be the first time that the Ducks ever get into the postseason in program history for Oregon women's soccer in the first year for head coach Graham Abel. And he's done it in part due to some obviously great players, but I think particularly Leah Freeman. Freshman Leah Freeman, who helped the Ducks shut out both Cal and Stanford over the weekend, has been named the Pac-12 Goalkeeper of the Week. That was announced yesterday. Freeman from Berkeley, California, a little bit of a homecoming, got it done against Stanford and Cal, made what was at the time a career-high 7 saves in the Ducks' 1-0 win over Cal on Friday. That was actually Oregon's first ever win in Berkeley, by the way. A lot of firsts this year. And then 2 days later, she raised the bar again, upped her career high to 9 saves in a 0-0 overtime tie at Stanford. First time in program history that Oregon held the Cardinals scoreless on their own field. And it was also the first time that the Ducks have gone undefeated on the Bay Area road trip. A lot of firsts. Leah Freeman, a reason that there's been a lot of firsts for Oregon soccer, which is just pretty darn cool. And then you heard me allude to McKenna Cleathermos, named the Pac-12 Pitcher and Freshman of the Week after throwing a no-hitter with 15 strikeouts on Friday against Loyola Marymount. Cleathermos tossed the 34th no-hitter in program history on Friday against the Lions and is just the 4th pitcher in program history to strike out at least 15 in a no-hitter. Think about some of the great pitchers that have been at Oregon, too, that have done similar things to her. That's cool to see. Her 15 strikeouts also tied for the 8th most in any game in program history, while it was the first 7-inning no-hitter by an Oregon player since Jordan Dale threw one on March 27, 2019. Speaking of Jordan Dale, it was great to see her back out there after a few weeks of not seeing her in the circle. The second-year freshman was absolutely great on Friday. Just to zero in on that, she struck out the first 6 batters of the game while recording 9 of her first 12 outs via strikeout. Cleathermos did. She struck out the side 4 times throughout the game, highlighted by 3 consecutive swinging strikeouts in the 7th inning to put an exclamation point on the no-no. The only base runners she allowed came on a hit-by-pitch in the 3rd inning and a walk in the 4th. So you just eliminate that walk, you eliminate the hit-by-pitch, and yeah, that's a perfect game for Cleathermos. That's cool. Pac-12 Freshman of the Week and the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week, McKenna Cleathermos. You know, when I was thinking about it, the 34 all-time no-hitters for Oregon softball. Now, in softball, you get the run rule, right? Like, you get the mercy rule, for lack of a better description. So maybe, you know, you're going to get a few more than obviously you would in baseball with that mercy rule, but still 34 no-hitters in program history. I think that's worth celebrating. And I'll be honest, I don't know how amazing that is compared to other record books around, but 34 sounds like an awful lot of no-hitters to me. We're going to ask Melyssa Lombardi that coming up, as the Oregon softball head coach will join us because, well, we've got the Beavers this week. Oregon softball will face the Beavers in Corvallis starting on Thursday. They're all on Pac-12 Network this week as well. And we've got rivalry week yet again. Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi joins us next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hi, you've reached Toyota. This is Jan.
Can I save on a new Toyota?
Yes, with great deals through March 31st at participating dealers.
I'm really into mystery podcasts lately for those long drives.
Well, imagine yourself in a Camry when a celebrity sleuth solves the perfect crime. Or camping in a RAV4 when a shocking theft turns a city on its head. Or off-roading in a Tacoma when trouble follows a big city cop to the country. Spoiler alert, it was the butler.
Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics. This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack. Joining us every Tuesday, Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi is here with us. Coach, hey, congratulations on another successful weekend. I always like to start generally and just tell us about your thoughts on the weekend. You guys come away with a few more victories, and always is a good thing when we talk about wins, right?
Yes, definitely. Anytime we can get a W, we want to get a W. What I really liked about our team this weekend is that they had a fast start. We had been preparing during the week to start fast on offense, on defense, and on the mound, and I thought all three areas did a good job of that.
Tell us about the Jane as well. I mean, was it nice to have some cheering sections back at Jane Sanders Stadium? You know, how much juice did that bring?
It felt great. It felt great to hear our fans in the Jane cheering for us. It felt normal, which was awesome. I think these guys have been waiting, including myself, just for some normalcy, and it felt normal, and it was awesome to see them, to hear them all weekend.
When was the last time you had a feeling of normal at a softball venue?
It's probably been a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that as, you know, tickets are going on sale, and I think we can all kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, which is great as long as we can do it safely. And when I put it in perspective, and I've been asking folks that question, Coach, it really has been a long year, hasn't it? And it's nice to see that light at the end of the tunnel.
It is. I think it's flickering, and it's going to eventually just stay on. So we just got to keep going towards it.
I like that. All right, well, you know, we get to talk about yet another conference honor for you this week. A Pac-12 Pitcher of the Week and a Pac-12 Freshman of the Week. That's always a good honor to get, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm very excited for McKenna. McKenna has put in so much work over these past 2 years and really perfecting what she wants, how she wants to go about the mound and being on the mound. And so it was just awesome to see her pitch that 15 strikeout, shutout, and just really be in control of what she was doing. So we loved it.
Mechanically Thermos, a 15 strikeout performance, also a no-hitter, which I was thinking about this, Coach, and I was looking at this. That's like the 34th no-hitter in the history of the program. I mean, can you give us like some context of that? Because you see no hitters in softball, and I've had the opportunity to call a few of them. Is 34 for a program? I mean, how impressive is that? Is that number like as mind blowing as I think it could be?
It's pretty impressive because in our sport, the dimensions are much smaller than baseball. The game is very, very fast. To have a no hit and on top of that a shutout, that's pretty impressive.
That was fun to watch. That was a lot of fun to watch. You know, the depth of your pitching staff, and we could kind of dive in on that. Had to be cool to see Jordan Dale have some success for you. Tell us about her weekend and how she's improved for you.
Definitely. I was excited to get her back on the mound at the Jane. You think about when we first started, and she was the one that was on the mound. And she's been working on some things and trying to perfect a couple things. So it was nice to get her back on the mound and her doing what she loves to do as well. Competitor, she loves to compete, and just to see her back on the mound at Jane was exciting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's such a cool deal that also I feel like it was kind of fitting that it was the first time in a few weeks she had been out there, and it was at the Jane, and it was in front of fans again. There was a little bit of normalcy as you saw Jordan Dale pitching in front of fans again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this group has worked really hard through all of this, and they work together and for each other, and to start to see some normalcy, it's refreshing to all of us, because you work so hard and you're waiting, and then at times you wonder if it's going to happen or if there's going to be any type of change, and we're starting to see that change happen. And I think it really tells our athletes just to keep working hard. We're going to get through this. Hopefully the hardest part is done, and now each day, each new day, it's just a closer step back to normalcy.
So Maria Diaz also coming in that effort as well. What do you like about her performance? What do you like about her now moving forward in the next few weeks?
I love how hard Samaria throws. She throws really, really hard. And then just the changeup that she has to complement it. She can work up and down in the zone. What I love about Samaria is her experience. She's been there. She's done that. She's a super senior. She knows what it takes to go through conference and just to grind. What she does on the mound is so valuable for us, but also the leadership that she provides our team as well goes a long way.
Melyssa Lombardi, head coach, Oregon softball, joining us. 14 straight wins heading into this week. And the Ducks have won 23 of their first 24 games of the season. By the way, a second time in program history that's happened. I wanted to ask you about one staple of your order, because Rachel Sid made her 100th consecutive start and has been part of the lineup in all of her career games. A model of consistency with Rachel Sid, right? That's a cool milestone to hit.
Yes, I think it's a very cool milestone. I think of her as a freshman, young and, just green and getting thrown into the fire, whether she's ready or not. And I think she has handled it from day one very, very well. She's excellent on defense. That is a hot corner that she has to deal with at third. She gets some shots coming at her and she handles them. But then from there to have the ability to move forward on short game and on bunts and throw runners out. So she's been very consistent over there, and we appreciate the leadership that she has provided this team, and just it's been cool to see how much she has grown from a freshman to a junior.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see. I think now, too, if we could go back to the getting early leads. I know you mentioned that was something that you wanted to do. You guys were able to do that. Just why is that such a key for this team in particular? Is it the great pitching? Is it just the ability to control the base paths? Why is that such a big key for this squad?
I think what it does is it allows them to set the tone of the game right from the very start. It allows them to be more control of what they want to do by catching an early lead and being solid in all areas. So that's something we've been preaching all year. And, I like that they know how to come back. I think that's a sign of a very good team, a team that is down and knows how to come back, a team that has runners in scoring position with 2 outs and they know how to score in those 2 situations. I think those are really good signs, but I also think it's something for us to really work hard to set the tone and to score early.
When we had assistant coach Justin Schultz on a couple weeks ago, Coach, I asked him about the stolen bases, and I want to revisit that for some fans here. You guys are 38 for 45 stealing bases this year, which, I look at that and I'm going, that's great. And then you guys are only allowing 11 for 17. Mm-hmm. How key is that for your squad, and just that discrepancy of controlling the base paths offensively, defensively for you guys?
It's huge for us. Because, early on, our catchers and Alyssa, our shortstop, they weren't connecting. So the throw was there, but Alyssa would be late. Or Alyssa was there and the throw was off. We just weren't connecting. We needed to get our timing down. And then all of a sudden we got our timing down. And I love it, because what it does is it makes the opponent second guess. It makes them go, well, if I run here and I get thrown out, I'm taking myself out of the inning. So I'm going to go the safer route and bunt the runner over. So what I think it does is it makes the opponent have to rethink their strategy a little bit, just instead of just sending the runner. So I love the connection that's going on right now between our catchers, between Tara and Alyssa.
Melyssa Lombardi joining us. All right, so 4 o'clock on Thursday. It's Easter weekend, so everything slides up a little bit. 4 o'clock on Thursday, the Ducks on the road in Corvallis. Just ho-hum, another rivalry matchup. Talk about that in just a second. Schedule for you. 2 o'clock Friday, 4:30 Friday as part of the doubleheader, but, that could change a little bit. All these games are on the Pac-12 Network from Corvallis, and 5 o'clock on Saturday for the fourth and final matchup against the Beavers. All right, it's a team that you know. It's a team that Oregon fans always like to see you play. Keys to victory this weekend up in Corvallis.
I think it leads right back to that consistency. I think it's about scoring first. I think it's about our pitchers giving us a chance to win. This Oregon State team, they're very explosive at the plate. Very, very explosive. And I think, too, with knowing that, it's our defense really being solid this weekend and limiting, being really clean on defense and allowing us to get out of jams when we need to get out of jams or to have a 1-2-3 inning. Those are the things I think about for the weekend.
Thursday, 4 o'clock, Pac-12 Network, Ducks on the road in Corvallis. Then Friday, 2 o'clock for the doubleheader matchup. Also on Pac-12 Network, Saturday, 5 o'clock. Ducks, Beavers. Always looking forward to it. Coach, have a great week, a safe trek to and from Corvallis, and looking forward to catching up with you again next week. I always appreciate you taking the time on the show.
All right. Thanks, Joey.
Quick timeout. When we come back, a whole lot of other Duck athletic events going on, especially with Easter week. Everything slides up a bit. It makes the show a little bit more fun, actually. There's more events to talk about on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace. Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Great stuff with Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi. She is got that program rolling right now. They're into the top 5, and they're looking to stay there when they head to Corvallis this upcoming weekend. Our Toyota Women's Sports Schedule spotlight shines right on Corvallis, and why not? That 4 o'clock first pitch coming up on Thursday. Meanwhile, for Oregon volleyball, this is really cool. So coming down the stretch, we're going to talk to Matt Ulmer on the show tomorrow, head coach for the Ducks. It's a 7 o'clock start time for Oregon volleyball in Tempe on Thursday. The Ducks are 1 game out of first place. 1. if Washington drops a match this weekend, might be talking about a Pac-12 championship for the Ducks. Now, we say all that, but we know the Ducks got to take care of business with their 2 matches coming up at ASU. 7 o'clock on Thursday and then noon on Saturday. I think that it's safe to say the Toyota Women's Sports Schedule spotlight is shining right on those 2 programs right now, because down the stretch for Oregon volleyball, and it's starting to heat up in Pac-12 play for Oregon softball. Also of note, Oregon soccer is in action on Friday at 2 o'clock. It'll be in Eugene, right here at Pape Field. Utah is in town. Ducks are currently sitting 2 games above 500. They're in the middle of the Pac-12 standings. Shaping up to be a good finish for Oregon soccer. They got to get a few more victories, and I think they might be heading to the postseason with the way that they're playing right now. And then we actually have a Pape Field doubleheader for you on Friday, because Oregon soccer is going to play at 2, and Oregon lacrosse is going to play at 6 o'clock against Arizona State. That's the schedule for just a few of the events this weekend, with also women's tennis in action at 11:30 on Friday in Eugene, and Oregon men's tennis is on the road at 2 o'clock on Friday. We have tons of action on Friday, and not to mention the Hayward premiere. Track and field, it begins on Friday, the first outdoor meet at Hayward Field for the Ducks, and the first time that they'll be at home in an awful long while, and they deserve it, man. I'm really looking forward to it. Toyota Women's Sports Schedule Spotlight, Toyota. Let's go places. And earlier, our Women in Flight update of the week, always brought to you by the Duck Store, proud supporter of Women in Flight. Man, this is a fun time of year, and especially with spring football getting going on Thursday. That's right. Spring football starts on Thursday. We'll have Mario Cristobal meeting with the media, I believe, on Thursday. We'll have that interview for you this week. So much going on. And, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow on the show, we will chat with Oregon baseball head coach Mark Wazakowski as they get ready for a 4-game set against New Mexico State. Coming at you this week, starting at 4 o'clock on Thursday. 2 games on Saturday, 4, 4, and noon. 4-game set for Oregon baseball. Talk to you tomorrow.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.